guys, Sam Adams here, and welcome to the Weekly Recap, which is a series every Saturday on my channel where I choose the most significant news stories in the gaming and tech industries of the past week, and I keep you guys up to date on what's going on in the world. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this week in game news and tech news. First off, Nvidia has been sued over false advertising accusations because their GTX 970 boasts 4 GB of video RAM. However, that memory is actually split into 2 sections. Basically how it works is that there is 3.5 gigs that are normal video RAM, and then an extra 500 megabytes added on to that can be accessed at a slower processing rate, leading to drop frames in games, especially when you're running at higher resolutions, such as ultra settings on PC. And when asked about this, Nvidia responded and said that there was a miscommunication between their marketing and development departments and that they would try to do better in the future. If we're being realistic here, their bottom line is not going to change because Nvidia does make some awesome products, and I personally am going to be buying one for my PC build. However, this might damage the reputation of the company just a little bit, but ultimately this little minor hiccup is not going to affect them much in the long run. Next up, Mortal Kombat 10 has been taking over my YouTube newsfeed for the past week because as we are getting closer to the release date, there's a lot of news about characters and stories, but ultimately this week, the major one that I saw is that Brutalities will be making a comeback in Mortal Kombat 10. And if you aren't familiar with what Brutalities are, they are basically where back in the day, you could put a giant string of attacks together and your opponent would burst into a giant shower of blood and other bodily fluids. And it looked ultimately pretty cool, and it's pretty much what made the franchise famous for its gore and brutality. It looks like Brutalities will be kind of similar to Fatalities whenever they're going forward in Mortal Kombat 10, because it's not necessarily just a giant explosion of blood, but you can have dismembered heads, dismembered body parts, other stuff like that. It's just an ultimate gore fest whenever you get a Brutality, and it still looks pretty cool, and it's nice to see that the developers are bringing back some famous points in the franchise, and I absolutely can't wait to watch this whenever it comes out. I'll probably be watching it on Twitch, not really sure if I'll be playing it. I've never really been a big fan of fighting games, and I definitely haven't been good at them, but I do love to watch me some Mortal Kombat. This week's Nintendo figurine news includes a golden Mario amiibo that's set to hit Walmart stores in the United States on March 20th. It's actually going to be released alongside Mario Party 10, which I hear is a lot more fun now that there is amiibo integration. I'm guessing it's kind of like Monopoly now. I don't know how it works. But the Golden Mario Amiibo is the 3rd Mario Amiibo to be released alongside the original Super Smash Bros. Mario Amiibo, a Waving Mario Amiibo, and now it's the Gold Waving Mario Amiibo. And this is going to be the standard price of $13 and again is available at Walmart stores in the United States only, alongside the release of Mario Party 10 on March the 20th. To be honest, I'm still surprised that these things have caught on as much as they have. But the way I see it, it's pretty much a good thing because it's taking the place of trading cards and action figures that I used to play with as a kid, and it's nice to see that in an age where the digital industry is taking over the gaming industry, we still can get some joy out of the physical items that Nintendo has to offer, and I like to see more companies follow suit with Skylanders as well as Disney Infinity. I think it's just a pretty cool thing to be able to collect. Rockstar finally announced that GTA 5 is getting Heists on March the 10th, which are basically 4-player co-op missions where you can rob banks in multi-stage robberies across Los Santos. This has been in development for a long time, and a lot of GTA 5 players are really excited to see this finally coming. And in addition to this, the PC version of the game got a final release date of April 14th. It was pushed back yet again. And I have to say, if Rockstar does that again and pushes back the release date even further, PC gamers will probably end up giving up on the franchise entirely, and it will become the Red Dead of the new generation of games. However, I am here to tell you that when this does hit PC, and it will on April 14th because Rockstar knows its time is running out and the patience is really running thin, it is going to be one of the most glorious, beautiful, amazing modding communities in the entire world and potentially in the history of gaming. I can't wait to see this stuff light up my newsfeed when it's released on April 14th. So now for a couple of release dates that were announced this past week. Batman Arkham Knight is coming out on the 2nd of June now, and I actually talked about this yesterday in a video, so you can get all the information you want to about that game right over there, along with a couple of announcements that came this past week. And then Payday 2 Crimewave Edition is coming out sometime in June for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which of course Payday 2 came out on the last generation consoles. It's nice to see that it's getting a port to PS4 and Xbox One. This is one of those that I support because it seemed like since it came out at the end of last generation's life cycle, it didn't really get the the population and popularity that it deserved. However, it does look to be a pretty awesome crime robbing game, and it should pair nicely with the GTA 5 heists. Next up on the PlayStation blog, a lot of games were announced to be getting release dates over the course of the next 8 weeks in the Spring Fever 2015 sale, and if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you can get 10% off every one of these titles. I will link that blog post down in the description below. However, the most significant games that I see are Hotline Miami 2 coming out on March the 10th, Axiom Verge coming out on the 31st of March, which is an interesting Metroid-style game, a platformer that is coming to the PS4, PS3, and PlayStation Vita over a course of a couple of weeks. And then you're getting Shovel Knight, the most popular indie game that came out last year, coming out on April the 21st, which is definitely going to be a welcome release on the PS4, PS3, and PlayStation Vita. Again, if you want to see the full lineup, you can check out that screenshot right there, or you can click on the blog post down below. So there you guys have it. That wraps it up for the weekly recap this week. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to drop me a like down below and comment what your most popular news story was of this past week, what really grabbed your eye in the headlines. And of course, if you're new to my channel, please head over and check out some of my other videos. I make new stuff 4 days a week, sometimes more, and I love it when people check it out. But as always, I hope you guys have had an amazing week, that you have an amazing week next week, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.